Honorable Men Discord. Dave East removes 38 Special from his new album, Price of Pain. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So, you heard me right. Dave East just recently released an album called Price of Pain. It has 14 songs on it. And what's trending right now is that his song that features Snoop Dogg, and originally it also had 38 Special. 38 Special is not really mentioned in the credits, and that's song number 5, Follow My Lead. So song number 5, track number 5, Follow My Lead, is Dave East featuring Snoop Dogg, and it says Harry Fraud. It does not say 38 Special. He removed 38 Special from the album. Why did he move 38 Special from the album? Because 38 Special has recently been aiming at Jim Jones, for Jim Jones jumping into what 38 Special would say was none of his business. See, 38 Special was trying to do business, if you will, with Jadakiss. Jadakiss allegedly turned it down, and in addition to that, 38 Special was on record saying that he had a better verse than Jadakiss on a song that was on Benny the Butcher's album. Okay, and that led to 38 Special taking aim at Jadakiss and Fat Joe. And then Fat Joe, because Fat Joe's who Fat Joe is, Fat Joe, well, I should say not Fat Joe directly. Jim Jones intervened on Fat Joe and Jadakiss' behalf and took some shots at 38 Special. 38 Special eventually would take to the Summer Jam stage and say an entire verse about Jim Jones, also including Jim Jones's lady, Chrissy. So with that happening, you already know the domino effect just continues to happen. And right now, Dave East being a co-host along with Mano and Fabulous, he's a co-host of Jim Jones. It's only right that Dave East remove himself from the drama and remove 38 Special. Now, we don't all agree on this. I don't know if everyone agrees with this. I agree with it, because what else do you expect? Do you think Dave East is going to have 38 Special rapping on his album, and he works with Jim Jones? He has a relationship, a close relationship with Jim Jones? No, I wouldn't expect anything less. Although I know that Dave East and 38 Special did a cypher together. Not to mention there was some records that they did together. I don't know the exact number of records, but I came across the cypher and another record aside from this record that 38 Special is no longer on. They've worked with each other. All right, so you can say they have a working relationship. Now, clearly their working relationship is not on the level of the relationship that Dave East has with Jim Jones, which is why Dave East chose to do this. Question is did Jim Jones advise Dave East to remove 38 Special from the album, or did Dave East do it on his own to show loyalty to Jim Jones? To me, it wouldn't even matter which way it goes. You're gonna have to choose. Unfortunately, that's just life. That's how it is in the real world with friends in the real world. Listen, if someone is talking reckless about someone that you do business with, a close friend, you have a choice that you have to make. And you're going to have to either address both of them and let them know where you stand, or you decide to just pull back and say, listen, it's getting out of control and I'm going to remove myself from this situation. So I think Dave East is just trying to do what he can do to remove himself from the situation. Has he burned a bridge with 38 Special? Possibly. 38 Special, if 38 Special understands how these things play out, he had to know that, by saying certain things, it's going to affect the people around you that you have a relationship with. And 38 Special, I would think, would understand why Dave East did what he did. But I'm just gonna play these 3 things I've queued up, and I'll talk about it further.
Say something, and I gotta say something. This is out of control, man. Y'all say it's not New York versus upstate, but it's given very, very much New York versus upstate. So let me get this right. Max talk about Chrissy all these years. He come home, Jimmy give you permission to say, go ahead, man, you can go see him, you know what I mean? That's okay, right? But Special do something, and now all of a sudden you want to take the man off the song. What you put him on your album for? Obviously you thought he was nice. Obviously you thought he was worthy enough to be on your album that you wanted him on there. So now you took him off because I see what you're doing. You took him off because you picked your side, and that's cool. That's cool. But don't say it's not New York versus upstate, because it is, and that's how y'all moving. Because if that was your dog for real, Jimmy was your dog for real, you wouldn't even ask him to go see Max. You wouldn't even ask them. And now they're not even friends. They still ain't friends. So you wouldn't go do that for nothing. And you don't want to, and you kick Special off a track because you don't want to look funny, but you already been looking funny, big dog, when you went to go support Max. Shit corny, man. Since when is it cool to blackball another man because he said I'm better than you, or he sent shots at you and you send shots to him first, but when he says some shit that's personal and true, now you want to blackball the man? And I gotta say something, man.
So let me read what's above me. It says, nah, see, the problem is mofos in 26 don't understand loyalty. If my dude don't rock with you, then I don't rock with you. If my brother don't rock with you, I don't rock with you. Period. That's what the ish about. That's why the outsiders stepped in. Learn what ish be, because the same mofos screaming that bozo ish don't understand or display loyalty. See, the I agree with him to a degree when he was talking about how Dave East went to a welcome home party with Max B. Max B said just about the same disrespectful things to Jim Jones in the past, and about Chrissy. He also mentioned Chrissy also. But the thing with that, I think maybe Dave East may have had a stronger relationship with Max B than Jim Jones, or maybe he knows them both equally. But listen, it is, the guy has a valid point. He went to the party. Jim Jones cleared that, and but this one, again, I don't know with this one. I don't know if Jim Jones had something to play with 38 Special being removed from the track. But what's done is done. This incident between 38 Special and Jim Jones is a new, fresh incident. So maybe Jim Jones is not stressing what Max B said in the past. Plus, Max B, I believe at some point on an interview, he mentioned that he apologized for that. Maybe not directly to Jim Jones, but he apologized for his behavior back then. So I guess that kind of washed it and made it a clean slate. I don't know. I can't call it. Don't hold me to that. I'm just trying to, weigh things out and try to figure out the mind of Dave East and why he did what he did. Now, does Dave East need a track with 38 Special? Clearly, he removed it, so he doesn't see any. It doesn't seem like he's worried about taking a loss or burning a bridge with 38 Special. This is an outsider account, obviously, that I'm speculating here, because who knows? Maybe Dave East made a call. Maybe they had a gentleman phone conversation that we're not privy to, and Dave East was like, "Look, man, I don't want to get involved with this. I have to pull your song, your verse. We don't know yet. It's still fresh and early. By the time I release this episode, who knows? Maybe 38 responds to Dave East. Maybe he responds to him in a rap. Maybe he responds to him in an interview. I don't know. At the time of this recording, this is still fresh. I do not know why Dave East decided to move 38 Special. We're all speculating, but our speculation, I think, is closer to the truth than not close to the truth, because it's too much of a coincidence that he removed 38 Special, and 38 Special has been saying what he's been saying to Jim Jones. Now the truth is though, Jim Jones interjected himself into this I don't want to say spat, this competition. 38 Special was basically saying, listen, I had the better verse than Jadakiss. I think it was hip hop. I think it was a friendly, in hopes that Jadakiss would reply maybe with a song. He wanted to battle him. I think as an artist who believes in his talent, I think he was really just trying to. He definitely respects Kiss. I mean, you can see old photos with him standing beside Jadakiss. I think he was just trying to. He was trying to pull, or you could say bait, Jadakiss into a battle. He wanted to challenge him. Since he has a respect for him, he's like, I want to show the world that I'm just as good as him, if not better. I don't see anything wrong with it. You could say you don't agree with the way he went about it, but I think that's all it comes down to. That's something I covered in a previous episode also. But it started off, it was just about 38 Special addressing Jadakiss, and of course in hip hop and just like in the real world, it can never stay between just two people, because whoever's standing next to that person who he's speaking to, which is Jadakiss, Fat Joe had thoughts on it. I want to say Joe Budden may have had thoughts on it. It's just the way it is, and that's hip hop, whether you like it or not. And unfortunately for many, hip hop is so close to the real world, the way the men and women operate within hip hop, that it sometimes spills over into the street, which I hope that does not happen in this case.
Well, it's already starting because Dave East removed 38 Special from the song Follow My Lead. If you go look, it only says Snoop Dogg and Harry Fraud. He was previously on the song. It's starting. Well, it's already starting.
Does 38 need to be on a Dave East song? Is he going to feel burnt by this? I don't think so. 38 Special is a producer himself, as well as a writer, as well as an artist. And I think he'll be just fine. I think, again, he has to know when you engage in war, the way he engaged in war with Jim Jones, he's going to potentially burn bridges. Especially knowing that Jim Jones has industry friends, and 38 Special represents the independent artists and the independent world.
He's just dropped the album, Price of Pain. What I realized is there was a track with Dave East, Snoop Dogg, and 38 Special. When I seen the original track listing, 38 Special was on there. But now, 38 is no longer on that song. So is Jim Jones behind the scenes puppet mastering and playing, the gatekeeper right now?
I believe in gatekeeping, blackballing, all of that sucker shit. They doing it now. But at the end of the day, man, you can't stop whatever God playing. When you gatekeep, you try to play God. Whatever's meant for somebody is meant for somebody. You try to stop it and all of that shit, that'll never work.
Jimmy ain't trying to go to the booth. Jimmy's like, forget the booth. I'ma show boy how to play this game, because he keeps talking that independent, I got my own money. You see, influence in this game goes farther than money. There's certain things you can't pay for.
Somebody please check on Jim Jones.
Dave East just dropped the album.
Influence goes a long way, but can you blame 38 Special for responding to Jim Jones? I can't blame him. He's a grown man. It's his brand is at stake, and even furthermore, he's being an independent artist. His brand is at stake. He can stay quiet and then just let those who have more influence than him just tear down his brand by taking shots at him, or he could respond. Now, you could argue, did he have to respond the way in which he responded? That's a fair argument. He could have chosen another route. He didn't necessarily have to bring up Jim Jones' lady. He didn't have to do that. He could have found another avenue. But when it's war, it's war. You can't tell the other side how to engage in war. That's just the way life is. And since art imitates life, what do you expect? What is your thoughts on all this for those of you watching this? Do you think it's a loss for Dave East burning a bridge with 38 Special? And again, this is all speculation, because we don't know if Dave East made a phone call, a gentleman's phone call, like, listen, bro, you know I'm doing a show with Jim Jones. It's not going to be a good look. Although I think your verse is fire and I want to put it out, I don't need the headache right now. I don't want to get in between this. You're both my brothers. I'm going to have to remove your verse. We don't know if that conversation was had. If that conversation was had, I can respect that. Because he is in the middle, so to speak. You know, he's in the middle of it, whether he likes it or not. And that's how sometimes it is. That's just how it goes. You don't want to be in those situations, but you can't control how other men, how men respond to one another. You can't. The last thing you want to do is even give either one advice, because I've seen situations like that go left, where you get in between and you try to patch things up between both individuals, and all of a sudden they got issues with you for trying to even, you know, be a mediator. So if it's as simple as like, listen, I gotta take your verse off of my album, I just don't want to deal with the headache. It is what it is until both 38 Special and Jim Jones hash it out and they find a way to resolve their differences. But until then, I believe Dave East doesn't have a choice. He didn't have a choice. That's my thoughts on it. What is your thoughts? Listen, as always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.